Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie, and on this channel I like to talk about my knitted items and also my gardening. So I hope you are well this week. I have had quite a busy week, but I have tried to spend some time to be organized, and that has helped a lot. Some organization within the chaos. So today I have some small finished objects and an update on a couple of my whips. Let's begin with this finished object. It is a simple cowl. The colorwork pattern I took from Andrea Wrangle's book. This one is from Alternate. Yeah, this one is from Alternate, and it's the colorwork pattern called Braid. And I decided to use this motif in a cowl. It fits perfectly. I tried it on before blocking, and before blocking it fit perfectly. So with blocking, it has now been blocked. I haven't actually tried it on yet, but I'm sure it will be absolutely fine since it fit perfectly before blocking. So with the stitches relaxed, I'm sure it will be very snug and cozy. With regards to numbers, I literally just improvised the pattern, as the colorwork motif is a 9-stitch motif. So I think I did an equal amount with extra stitches just for the back. So that was a sort of 9 plus 1 on each side, so that I could differentiate between the front and the back. But it really does not matter. Oh, obviously I didn't block it that way, did I? So I have a slight crease. When we wash and wear knitwear, it really doesn't matter. So yeah, so that's my first finished object. Like I said in my previous episode, I will be using my colorwork stitch dictionaries quite a lot, and I hope to apply the motifs in existing patterns to come up with something a little bit more my own, because it can get a bit tedious when well, at least for me, just spending, like £7, £8 on a plain pattern that everybody else is knitting, everybody else is wearing. So, and I have enough plain garments in my wardrobe. So it would be nice to mix and match with some color work, just to um, bring a little excitement to my everyday wardrobe. Oh, I am wearing some knitwear today. It's quite an overcast day, and I was originally just in a t-shirt, but I decided to throw on my wrap cardigan. This is the ballerina wrap top by Two of Wands, and it is a free pattern. I've worn it on episodes in the past, and I used, I think it was one or two strands of Plutalope held with a strand of drops brushed alpaca silk. And I love this cardigan a lot, and I wear it as much as I can. Let's go on to my, this is a whip update, so it's not a finished object. This is the back. Okay, so I have finished the body of the modern Mudcloth sweater sweater that I have been knitting for over a year. So this has taken me over a year. I would say probably about 14 months. Obviously, I haven't been knitting on it consistently. I did put it on hold maybe for about 6 or 7 months. And if you look back on my podcasts then, there was no word of it. So yeah, it has been languishing. So I could have knitted it a lot sooner, but alas, this is where I'm at. I have completed the ribbing, and I will insert some footage on where it hits on my body, and I'm very happy with the fit and the length. So usually when I knit sweaters, I don't knit them as short as this has come out. The reason being is that, especially if it's plain, I prefer to have a sweater that's long in the body that hits me maybe at the hip length. But for this, I just felt that it would be a little bit too much having this all over color work plus a very long or longer than normal rib section. I think it all combined, it would just be too much with the sleeves as well. So I decided to make it not cropped. It's definitely not cropped on me, but not as long. And I think it works. And to be honest with you, I do like the shape, but I think adding the sleeves obviously will just finish it beautifully. So I am I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break from this sweater just so that, because I find that if I power on through with a garment that is quite labor intensive like this sweater, it's labor intensive only in the way that for me, I don't memorize this pattern because every single round is a different pattern. You get in the flow with it, this is true, but yeah, it does take concentration with this sweater. So I feel like if I jump straight into doing the sleeves, I feel like I'm liable to make mistakes. So I'm gonna put it aside just for a month or two just to recalibrate, and then we shall get started on the sleeves. So who knows, maybe I will have this sweater by autumn. Let's hope and pray, or at least get started on it by autumn. But there is no rush, it's not like I can finish it now and wear it as soon as I finish it, because we are coming up to the end, at least in the UK, of sweater weather. So there is no rush for it. So that's my modern mudcloth update. So this pattern is by Chinua Matthews. Next update. So last episode, this Tucker sweater by Alicia Plummer was my finished object, and I have been wearing it a couple of times since. The original pattern has a afterthought pocket added, and I was in two minds whether to add the pocket, and I asked you guys your opinion, and a lot of you guys said I should add the pocket just to finish off that sort of retro vibe. So I added the pocket. It took a while, I'm not gonna lie, just to make it semi, I don't know if you can see that, semi neat. And I tried my best with it. I mean, it is a usable pocket, but obviously I can put some sweeties in it or something. But obviously I can't put anything heavy, like I can't put my phone or anything like that in it. But it's something different. It's a nice little detail that not every hand knit has. I really like the retro vibe that this scrappy project is giving. So yeah, it's not the neatest, admittedly, it's not the neatest sweater that I have ever knit, but sometimes using up the scraps, you kind of have to accept that that is a collateral aspect of using lots of different yarns, in that you're not going to get that sort of polished finish that you would get if you were using one type of yarn. Hey ho. Okay, and I feel like I'm powering on through this. But my last finished object, which you haven't seen, is another bandana. So this is the Romanticist Bandana by, I will have to add the designer's name in on the screen because I have knitted this pattern many times. This time around, I haven't taken notice of the designer's name. Apologies, but I will put it on screen. So this item just was knit out of necessity because in my last episode I told you guys that I now have another job working outdoors, and as a result, I need to I need to frequently cover my hair and protect my hair from the elements, and I didn't want to knit another bandana using wool because that's just not practical for spring and summertime headwear. And also, when you're working and stuff, it can get quite hot. So I looked in my stash and I remembered that I had a skein of some Tencel. And I remembered that I bought this skein of Tencel from a company called Wildfield Fibers, and she told me about this sustainable fiber that they were working with, responsibly sourced from Austria. So I remembered those details that she told me. You can also look her company up online, and you can find out a little bit more specifically about the yarn. But because she used the words sustainable, ecological, so I thought, okay, let me find out a little bit about Tencel. I prepared a little presentation summarizing what I learned about Tencel Lyocell. So here are a few things that I have learned about Lyocell, aka Tencel or Lenzig. The latter two are trademark names, but the generic name for the fabric or the material is Lyocell. Lyocell is an ethically sourced plant-based semi-synthetic fibre, similar to rayon or viscose. It is part of a production chain known as closed loop. This means both the solvents involved in producing this product and the end product is both recyclable and biodegradable. Lyocell is made from the pulp of eucalyptus, beech or spruce trees. These trees tend to be fast growing and need little irrigation, making them a great sustainable alternative to cotton or polyester. Cellulose extracted from wood pulp from these trees is dissolved in water and a solvent called N-methylmorpholine N-oxide, otherwise known as NMMO. The solution is then pushed through spinnerets to form threads or filaments, which are then spun into the yarn, which is what we knit with, or is then made into garments. The closed loop production means that up to 99.5% of the NMO solvent is recycled and reused, either to produce more lyocell or in other industrial processes. Lyocell producers claim it to be a hypoallergenic and responsibly sourced material, providing all treatments and dyes are also ecological. All my sources are linked in the description box of this video. So how is it to work with? So this Romanticist Bandana did not take a lot of yarn at all. And as you can see, it has this sheen to it, and knitting with it feels really nice. It's like knitting with satin or silk, so it has that sort of sheen, um, lustrous characteristic about it. I always use metal needles, and the combination of metal needles and this yarn was very enjoyable to knit. So apparently, it also takes dye very well. And so I'm trying to remember how much I paid. I think I got a slight discount on the one yarn that I bought because it was the last batch. So I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog is sleeping right here, so he's snoring. So apologies if you can hear that and it's distracting. I will try to do something in post if I can. But anyway, um, so it was the last of this color. So I got a bit of a discount. I think I paid about 16 or 18 pounds for 50 grams. So it's not the cheapest, but I knew when I bought it that I would be using it for a shawl or a bandana for my hair, because my hair needs lots of moisture to protect it. So I don't like using wool, to be honest with you, or cotton or anything like that, because it will just absorb the oils and moisture from my hair. So the Tencel I found, I knew that I would try to make something, like a scarf or something like this, to protect my hair using it. So a mission accomplished, but I used so little yarn making this that I think I will use the pattern again without making using the eyelet holes. So I just have a plain bandana. So that will be cool as well to use as part of my work gear to protect my hair. I have quite a lot of this yarn left, so I can probably use use it in other projects as well. It was quite interesting learning about Lyocell, because I am aware that it's possible that companies will try to greenwash any new or relatively new fiber, but this actually seems pretty eco-friendly when compared to other synthetic fibers. It takes dye incredibly well, but this also can be a worry, because depending on the company, to in order to achieve such bright, vibrant colors, I guess we should also ask ourselves what the dye is made of, because often with, let's say, fibers like acrylic, superwash, merino, and things, the fiber is one thing, but the microplastics and the forever chemicals that go into creating those vibrant colors that also get leached out into our waterways. And it's not only the fibers that we need to be cautious of, it's also the treatment, the treatment of the yarn to give us the qualities such as vibrant colors and washability, machine washable, and all of that stuff. So yeah, so it is nice to find out more about fiber that we can add to our stashes, or where the production can be a little bit more eco friendly. I hope that my little research project has given you some food for thought. And if any of you guys have any other information to add about Lyocell, maybe contrary to what I've put in my own presentation, maybe you have found that there are some aspects that aren't so ecological, please feel free to put that in the description box to open up some dialogue and to give more of a balanced view. But from what I can find, it seems quite positive. So I'm happy I have this one skein of Tencel. And if I come across any more, maybe I will buy it as an alternative to, say, cotton, because personally, I don't like knitting with cotton. I have nothing against cotton, cotton garments, store bought garments, but I don't like knitting with cotton. And it's a shame because my husband loves knitted knitted garments or knitted items made from cotton. But when he requests such things, I do dread it because cotton really dries out my skin, dries out my hands, and it doesn't have the slip that, let's say, Tencel or um, other garments have. So for me, it is quite a good alternative to knitting with silk because I find that also silk can also have that dryness that my hands are not a fan of. So yeah, so that's all I have for you for this week. I hope to have some more updates in the coming weeks. And for now, ciao.